Whoa. All righty, I would like to call to order the Conservation, Sustainability, and Green Initiatives Committee meeting for February 23rd. And Council, can you take attendance, please?
Sure, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Reinhardt,
Yep.
Efacoro, Camiso,
Here.
Fine,
Here.
Lockhart,
Here.
Miller,
Present.
Plotsky,
Present.
Simpson,
Here.
and Tunney.
Here.
8 present, Mr. Chairman.
All righty, thank you. I do have an announcement, which I'm not sure if everyone heard this already, but I'll repeat it for the public. We were going to have a presentation from NYSERDA about the offshore wind program and its impact on the Port of Albany and perhaps beyond in our region. But so far, it appears as though the NYSERDA rep will not be here tonight.
It doesn't seem like they're going to be able to connect, Mr. Reinhardt.
Yeah. All right. So we will put that off until later, but I'm really looking forward to that presentation. I'm excited about the project. And I know the Economic Development Committee, some of them are in attendance. They're excited too. But we will have to defer until they can be present at our committee. So the first order of business then is approving the previous meeting minutes. Do we have any questions or comments about the minutes? Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion.
All right, Matt. Second from Frank. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, approved unanimously. Second item is authorizing an agreement with Cornell Cooperative Extension of Saratoga County for the removal of invasive species at various county locations. Laura, are you going to present on that?
Hi, Mr. Chairman. It's Lisa Raimondo. Actually, DPW submitted this one.
Oh,
Laura
okay.
presents the next one.
Okay.
We submitted this last year for a 1-year term. This year, we're requesting to enter into a 3-year agreement, so we don't have to keep coming back with Cornell Cooperative Extension of Saratoga County for invasive species removal at various locations throughout the county. It's a 3-year blanket agreement. And last year, we entered into this agreement with PRISM, but due to COVID, they were not able to remove the lesser celandine. Are there any questions?
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, it says at no cost to the county. Who's paying for this? Or are we just being handed a benefit or?
Yeah, it is of no cost to the county. It's a service that they would like to provide. They're also going to teach us how to do some removals. So they're going to train us as well as part of it.
Okay, sounds like a good deal. Thanks. Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman.
Yeah, that one passes Mark's test.
Fiscal test, yes.
I have a question about the training. Are there others that could benefit from this kind of training beyond our own extension?
That I don't know. I would have to inquire about that. Maybe Laura may know a little bit more about it, but as far as I know, it was about potentially training DPW employees.
Right.
Sure. PRISM does also
Chairman?
work with volunteers from the community. They've organized invasive species removal on the rail trail with some volunteers. So they do train others.
I'm just thinking if we could get others trained, that would be a nice win-win, and it, especially if Mark's question is still that we're not paying for anything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Vicky.
Just a quick thought. I know town of Bethlehem has a contract with a vendor for invasive species removal at the reservoir and Rock Hill Road. So that's an opportunity for maybe bringing that in-house with some training.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be great if we could get others trained who have the same issue, municipalities or others, nonprofits who might be involved in this, like Mohawk Hudson Land Conservancy. You know, let's get a big bang for our $0.
Sounds good.
Okay, are there any other questions or comments? Is there a motion?
Motion.
Matt, is there a second? Vicky?
Okay.
All right. Oh, was that a second, Vicky?
Yes, that was a
Yeah, yeah.
second, a
Okay,
silent second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that was unanimous. Next item is another agreement with Cornell Extension of Saratoga County for the removal of invasive species at the Anley Pond and amending the 2021 Department of Economic Development, Conservation and Planning budget.
And this is related to the previous request regarding the agreement with Cornell Cooperative. It's specific to Anley Pond Preserve and the invasive species lesser celandine. It was discovered at the preserve in 2018. And originally there was a very small amount that could be removed by hand, but since it had taken a couple of years to get PRISM out there to start the project, it spread to an amount that hand digging it was not realistic anymore. And so it needs to be treated with a pesticide, and PRISM chooses a number of projects every year to fund, and the cost for getting a certified applicator to spray the celandine was estimated at $7,200, and the board had chosen our project to fund this year. So this resolution is specific to that project
Funny how that stuff keeps growing.
and spreading.
Yeah, you got to pay attention to it when you see it.
Yeah, you got to get it.
Any other questions or comments on this? All right, do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
A second? Vicky?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimous. All right, the next item is 2274, authorizing an agreement with Bergman Associates regarding the development of a countywide climate resiliency plan. Somebody gonna present on that?
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me, Chairman?
Yes.
Thanks. This is Luke Rogers. This is, as you indicated, requesting to award the grant-funded climate resiliency plan to Bergman Associates. We conducted an RFP, had several respondents, some good, but Bergman by far the clear best proposer. What this plan does is, in a way, builds off of the county's hazard mitigation plan, but specifically focused on climate-related risks. So whether it's severe weather, which we know we've been experiencing more and more frequently recently, sea level rise, which you might not think would be an issue here, but in parts of the Hudson could be relevant, and others, and identify strategies and specific projects to address those issues. So we'll work with the local municipalities, we'll work with a group of stakeholders to go through this process with Bergman as our consultant. Happy to answer any questions.
One comment I'll just make is that when I was on the Bethlehem Town Board, I first saw this issue come up with some data that showed that the sea level rise issue in our area goes all the way to the Troy Dam. So it's a significant thing for some of our communities in the lowland areas. I will start with one question or comment really on when I looked at the scope of work. There seemed to be only one public meeting between the draft plan and the final plan. And I'm questioning whether that's going to be enough in terms of public facing activity between the draft and the final plan. What often happens is they do their outreach meetings, they get a certain level of interest, but it's not until the draft plan comes out that some people actually focus on it. And you may open yourself to criticism that you didn't have enough time for public input once they actually saw the draft plan, once it was all put together. So I would hope that there's might be a way for us to kind of beef up that public outreach element between the draft and the final version of the plan.
We can certainly talk to the consultant about that. I think a couple things. I hear your point, but the draft plan really is a combination of its component parts, and there is definitely going to be public involvement in the development of what goes into the draft plan. But I hear what you're saying in terms of maybe it not garnering full interest. We can certainly think about that. With the advent of virtual meetings being normalized, that it certainly reduces the cost of having such a meeting. We'll see what the situation is when we get to that point in terms of the ability to have large group or public meetings.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point is where are we going to be in this process of this contract when basically most people get their vaccines and we feel comfortable having actual public meetings again. That may be a determining factor, but yes, Zoom meetings often do generate more attendance than in public meetings. So there might be a way to basically have multiple Zoom meetings, one after another, to reach, a lot of different community groups and the general public.
Yeah.
Any other comments from anyone else? If there are no comments, is there?
Sean Moore.
Wait, what?
Sean Moore has his hand up.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
If you don't mind, one from outside the committee.
No, we'd love it, Sean.
Luke, I noticed that in the RFP that you're going to select one county that you would assist with the community rating program. Is that community been selected or?
No, it hasn't. There are a few variables we would look at in selecting that. We would obviously want to keep it open to whoever's interested. That being said, we would like to tilt it towards a community that would benefit the most in term, and you determine that by looking at an analysis of coverage and of past incidents and past damage. The other factor, to be perfectly candid, is level of commitment, because it is a pretty intensive process. So we would want to work with somebody who is, committed to at least trying to see it through to one of the numeric levels that are that the CRS system is based on. And, those two considerations might be correlated. A municipality that has the most to gain is probably going to be the most interested. But those are two factors. But the short answer is no, it hasn't been selected yet.
Right, and you did mean municipalities was the intention there, right?
Yes, I'm sorry, I said county, municipality. There was one in the RFP that they said they were going to select. I just happen to know one that pays the highest amount of premiums and has the least amount of claims in the history of the program.
Yeah, that's a factor. And what we'd like to do with the consultant is whatever municipality we select, kind of identify best practices or at least at a high level, a guidance process to help others. So it's not just the one community that's benefiting, but more to come on that.
Okay.
Would this be that community that has a exciting hydroelectric potential?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So do we have a motion? Let's have a motion.
Make a motion.
Okay, Matt, and a second?
Second by Frankie Missile.
Thank you, Frank. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Sounds unanimous. All right, let's move on to nothing. I guess we're done because NYSERDA has not shown up. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so hopefully next month we'll have a presentation about the WIN program. I will just share with everyone that one of the things that I'm excited about here is the potential for not only the activity at the port, but also some supply chain activity that might occur within the county. And I'm thinking of a place like Green Island or the city of Albany, where there might be some manufacturing space available to to ramp up some subcontract work to support the port with some of the parts or something along those lines. That to me would be a wonderful opportunity if it's there. So we'll find out whenever NYSERDA gets here. Having said that, is there any other comment that anyone wants to make at this point? Yeah, Paul? Paul, I think
you're muted.
mute. Paul, you're muted.
I'm unmuted. There are some businesses that in Albany County that do have experience building components for wind turbines. I'm not going to get into naming names, but I'm familiar with one that still has a blade in their backyard that nobody ever took delivery of. So don't think in terms of just subcontractors who could ramp up at the port, but also the broader business community that could participate in the procurement with everything from materials to fabrication, because we have a history in this county of some people been there, done that.
Well, that's actually what I meant, was not just the activity at the port, but the supply chain that extends beyond the port to provide inputs locally from local sources for the assembly that's going to go on at the port. That's exactly what I was hoping. And by the way, I did not mean to imply that it would only be startups, but yes, I know that we have some energy companies that I might have interacted with when I was at NYSERDA who could participate in some of the fabrication for this kind of work. So yeah, that would be great. Any other comments? And I guess we're ready to adjourn. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Frank.
Thank you, Frank. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Sam. All righty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Meeting adjourned. See you next month.